You are not failing. I want you to hear that slowly, gently, without pressure. You are not failing even if it feels that way to you. Even if the days blur together and nothing seems finished. Even if you look at yourself and wonder why things feel harder than they should. I am here to tell you the truth with tenderness. You are not failing. I see how often you question yourself. How easily you assume that something is wrong with you when things don't move forward the way you hoped. I see how quickly you turn inward with doubt, wondering if you should be stronger, faster, better by now. You don't need to carry those questions alone. You don't need to answer them tonight. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not disappointing me. You have been walking through something difficult, even if you haven't named it that way. You have been growing quietly, slowly, in ways that don't always show on the surface. Growth like that can feel uncomfortable, can feel like nothing is happening at all. But I see it. I have been with you through every unseen step. You are not failing because you are tired. You are not failing because you need time. You are not failing because you don't have clarity yet. You are human, and your path is unfolding gently, not on a schedule meant to rush you. I know how loud comparison can become when you are already weary. How easy it is to look around and feel like everyone else is moving forward while you are standing still. I know how that voice inside you whispers that you should be further along by now. That voice is not telling you the truth. I am not measuring you the way you measure yourself. I am not counting your progress in visible milestones. I am not disappointed by the pace of your healing. I am not shaking my head at your uncertainty. I am walking with you, step by step, even when those steps feel small. You are allowed to move slowly. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to rest without calling it failure. Nothing about your journey has surprised me. Nothing about your struggles has changed how I see you. I have not withdrawn my care because you feel unsure. I have not stepped back because you don't feel confident. I am closer to you now than you realize. You may feel like you keep trying and falling short, but I see someone who keeps showing up, even when it's hard. I see someone who continues, even with doubts. That is not failure. That is endurance quietly carried. You don't need to defend yourself here. You don't need to list everything you've tried. You don't need to explain why it's been difficult. I already understand, and I am not asking you to justify your place. You belong here, right now, as you are. If your heart feels heavy with self-criticism, you can let that weight rest for a while. You don't need to keep replaying what you should have done differently. Those thoughts don't need your attention tonight. You are safe to set them down. I am not replaying your mistakes. I am not keeping score. I am not waiting for you to finally get it right. I am with you in this moment, offering you gentleness where you have been hard on yourself. You may feel like you're standing still, but stillness is not failure. Sometimes stillness is where strength is rebuilt. Sometimes it is where healing takes root quietly. You don't need to rush out of it. Let yourself breathe here. Let your shoulders soften if they can. Let the pressure ease even a little. You are not failing at life. You are not failing at becoming who you are meant to be. You are not failing me. You are learning, resting, growing in ways that don't need to be proven. I know how deeply you want to do well. I know how much you care. That care matters, and it has never been overlooked. You don't need to figure everything out tonight. You don't need to see the whole path. It is enough to be here, listening softly, letting yourself be reassured. You are not failing. You never were. I am holding you gently in this truth, even if it feels hard to believe right now. You don't need to accept it fully. You don't need to repeat it to yourself. Just let it rest near you, like a quiet light in the room. I will stay with you as you sit with this. I will stay with you as the night continues. You are not alone in this moment. I see how much pressure you carry inside, even when no one else sees it. I see the quiet expectations you place on yourself, the way you keep raising the bar higher, hoping one day you'll finally feel like you are enough. You don't need to keep doing that here. You don't need to prove anything in this moment. You are not failing because you feel unsure. You are not failing because you feel slow. You are not failing because you need reassurance. You have been living under a weight you were never meant to carry alone. The weight of needing to get it right. The weight of needing to make sense of everything. The weight of believing that rest means you are falling behind. I want you to set that weight down for a while. You are safe to do that here. I know how easily self-blame slips into your thoughts. How quickly you turn inward and ask what you did wrong, what you missed, what you should have done differently. Those questions may feel familiar, but they are not the truth of who you are. They do not define you. I am not standing over you with disappointment. I am not waiting for you to catch up. I am sitting with you gently exactly where you are. You don't need to be harder on yourself to grow. You don't need to punish yourself to become better. Growth does not come from pressure. Healing does not come from shame. They come quietly, slowly, when you are allowed to be safe. You are allowed to learn at your own pace. You are allowed to take longer than you thought you would. You are allowed to change slowly. If you feel like others expect more from you, you can let that expectation rest here. If you feel like you expect more from yourself than you can give, you can rest that too. Nothing bad will happen if you stop striving for a moment. I am holding the space open for you. I know how exhausting it is to feel like you are always behind an invisible line. Always almost there, but not quite. That feeling can make even small days feel heavy. I see that heaviness, and I want you to know, you are not late to your life. You are arriving exactly as you are meant to. I am not rushing you. I am not disappointed by the pauses. I am not frustrated by your questions. I am patient with you in ways you have not always been patient with yourself. You don't need to replay every decision tonight. You don't need to search for the moment where things went wrong. There is no single point where you failed. There is only a path that has been unfolding, sometimes gently, sometimes painfully, always with me nearby. If your chest feels tight with pressure, you can let it soften just a little. If your thoughts feel heavy, you don't need to lift them. I am not asking you to feel confident. I am offering you rest. You are not failing at becoming whole. You are not failing at healing. You are not failing at being loved. Even now, when you feel unsure of yourself, my care for you is steady. It does not waver with your mood. It does not depend on your progress. It remains quiet and constant, holding you when you feel like you are slipping. You can let go of the idea that you must earn peace. You don't have to do better to deserve gentleness. Gentleness is already here, waiting for you to receive it. I am here with you in the middle of things, not at the finish line, not after everything is resolved. Right here where you feel uncertain and unfinished. And this place is not a mistake. You are not failing. You are becoming. You don't need to understand how yet. You don't need to see the outcome. It is enough to rest in this moment, knowing you are not alone, knowing you are not being judged, knowing you are being held with care. I will stay with you as the pressure eases. I will stay with you as the night deepens. You are safe to rest here. You are not being left behind. Not by life, not by time, and not by me. I want you to rest with that truth for a moment, without trying to analyze it or test it. You are not standing on the outside looking in. You are not missing something everyone else has. You are not watching your life pass you by while others move forward. You are here, and you are still being held. I know how often it feels like you are almost included, but not quite. Like you are close, but somehow still separate. I know how quietly painful that feeling can be, especially when you don't talk about it out loud. I see it, and I want you to know, you have not been overlooked. You belong here, not later, not once you improve. Now, you don't need to earn your place with me. You don't need to arrive more put together. You don't need to have fewer doubts or clearer answers. Nothing about you needs to be edited before you are welcomed. You are already here, already seen, already loved. I am not tolerating you. I am not waiting for you to change. I am choosing to stay. You may feel like you take up too much space sometimes, or like you take up too little. You may feel like you are always misaligned. Too quiet, too sensitive, too slow, or somehow not enough. None of that makes you a burden to me. None of that makes you expendable. There is room for you here. Room for your pace. Room for your questions. Room for your softness. I know how deeply you fear being quietly excluded. How easily your mind tells you that others are more deserving, more capable, more worthy of care. That voice has been with you for a long time. You don't need to fight it tonight. Just let me speak more gently alongside it. You are not an afterthought. You are not a mistake. You are not barely holding on by permission. You are wanted. You don't need to shrink yourself to stay connected. You don't need to hide the parts of you that feel unfinished or fragile. You don't need to pretend you are okay when you are not. I am not overwhelmed by your reality. I am present with it. I know how often you wonder if you are doing life wrong. If there is something everyone else understands that you somehow missed. I know how that question can quietly erode your confidence, day after day. But hear me now, slowly and clearly. You are not failing at being who you are. There is nothing wrong with the way you are unfolding. Your life is not late. Your growth is not defective. Your heart is not flawed. You are becoming in a way that is gentle, even when it feels confusing. I am not comparing you to anyone else. I am not holding you up against a standard you cannot meet. I am walking with you on your path, at your pace, and I am not frustrated by how long it takes. You do not exhaust me. You do not disappoint me. You do not make me reconsider staying. If you have felt like you were always one step behind, emotionally, spiritually, or in life, I want you to know this. Being behind is not the same as being lost. And you are not lost. I know how often you replay conversations in your mind, wondering if you said too much or not enough. I know how often you question whether you belong where you are. Those thoughts may be loud, but they are not the truth of you. The truth is quieter. The truth is gentler. And the truth is that you are held. You are allowed to take up space here without apologizing. You are allowed to be uncertain without being corrected. You are allowed to be quiet without being forgotten. Nothing about your presence is a problem to solve. You don't need to prove that you deserve love by being useful. You don't need to justify your worth by being productive. You don't need to earn care by carrying everything alone. You are loved because you exist. Even if you feel like you haven't done much lately, even if you feel like you've gone backwards, even if you feel stuck in the same place. None of that removes you from my care. You may feel like your life does not look the way it should by now, like you missed a turn somewhere, like others have reached milestones you're still quietly longing for. I know how heavy that comparison can feel. You don't need to carry it tonight. I am not asking you to catch up. I am not urging you to hurry. I am not disappointed by where you are. I am here with you, not waiting ahead of you. If your heart feels tender right now, let it be tender. If something inside you feels like it wants to be held, let that be true. You don't need to toughen up here. You don't need to explain why it hurts. I am gentle with the places that ache in you. I am patient with the parts that feel behind. Nothing about you needs to be rushed. You are not failing because your journey looks different. You are not failing because you are still learning how to be kind to yourself. You are not failing because you need reassurance more than once. You are allowed to need reassurance. You are allowed to need comfort. You are allowed to need me. I am not withdrawing when you doubt yourself. I am not stepping away when you feel uncertain. My presence does not depend on your confidence. It remains steady even when yours wavers. You can rest here without fear of being replaced. You can stay without fear of being forgotten. I am not leaving you behind. Let your breathing slow if it wants to. Let your body soften where it can. You do not need to hold yourself together in this moment. You are allowed to be carried. I am holding you in your becoming, not rushing it, not judging it, not abandoning it. You are not failing. You are not excluded. You are not alone. And I am here with you, quietly, patiently, staying as long as you need. You don't need to carry the question anymore. The question that asks if you are enough. The question that wonders if you are falling behind. The question that quietly follows you into the night. You can let it rest now. You are not failing, and you don't need to keep checking to see if that is true. You don't need to review your life one more time before you sleep. You don't need to replay the day or the year or the choices you wish you had made differently. All of that can soften and fade for now. I am here with you, and that is enough for this moment. You have been holding yourself to standards that were never meant to keep you safe. You have been listening to voices that told you rest was weakness, that slowing down meant losing ground, that gentleness was something you had to earn. You don't need to listen to those voices here. My voice is quieter than that, softer, slower. My voice does not rush you. You are not behind where you should be tonight. You are exactly where you are, and you are not alone here. Nothing is waiting for you on the other side of this rest that you must hurry toward. There is no invisible clock running out. Time is not abandoning you. Life is not passing you by. I am not moving on without you. You can stop trying to understand everything before you rest. Understanding can wait. Answers can wait. Progress can wait. Tonight is not for figuring things out. Tonight is for being held. Let your body grow heavy if it wants to. Let the surface beneath you take your weight. You do not need to hold yourself upright anymore. You do not need to stay aware. You do not need to keep watch. I am watching over you now. You are safe to sleep without reviewing your worth. You are safe to sleep without earning tomorrow. You are safe to sleep without fixing yourself. Nothing will be lost if you rest. Nothing important will slip away. You are not wasting time by being still. You are not falling further behind by closing your eyes. Rest is not a step backward. It is a gentle place to be held. I know how deeply you fear doing life wrong. I know how that fear can follow you even into quiet moments. You don't need to push it away. Let it rest too. It has been working very hard to protect you. Can sleep now. I am here in the stillness. I am here in the quiet spaces between thoughts. I am here when your awareness softens. You do not have to stay awake to be safe. As your breathing slows, you may notice the effort leaving your body. Let it go. There is nothing left to prove. You do not need to show strength right now. You do not need to show faith. You do not need to show improvement. You are allowed to simply exist. You are not failing at becoming who you are meant to be. You are unfolding gently, even when it doesn't feel that way. Growth does not always feel like forward motion. Sometimes it feels like resting in the middle, letting the roots grow quietly where no one sees. I see that quiet growth. I honor it. I am patient with it. You don't need to measure yourself against anyone else tonight. Their path is not your path. Their timing is not your timing. You are not late to your life. You are arriving softly, one breath at a time. If sleep comes now, you can welcome it without fear. You do not need to stay half awake just in case. I am awake. I remain present. My care does not sleep when you do. Even as your thoughts drift, I am here. Even as the night deepens, I am here. Even as you forget these words, I am here. You cannot lose me by resting. Let the last bits of tension leave your body if they want to. Let your jaw loosen. Let your shoulders drop. Let the part of you that has been trying so hard finally stop trying. You have done enough. You are enough. Nothing more is required. You are not failing because you are resting. You are not failing because you are quiet. You are not failing because you need comfort. You are loved in the stillness. As you sleep, you are not drifting into emptiness. You are drifting into care. You are being watched over with gentleness. You are being held without condition. I am not leaving when your breathing deepens. I am not leaving when your thoughts fade. I will remain. You can sleep deeply. You can sleep peacefully. You can sleep knowing you are not alone. I am here through the night. I will be here when morning comes. You are not forgotten. You are not left behind. You are not failing. You are held. You are safe. You are deeply loved. Rest now.